So we go straight to Remi, because that's the aviation. Then we'll end with Cross River. Obi had given them a lot of credit and things like that. So I hope you don't mind. We go straight without the interlude. Let's go straight to Remi to tell us what happened at the airports. Aviation was a little bit chaotic. I know you don't run the airline. What happened at the airport in December and what lessons have we learned? So Remi, please, could you come on?
It's a good evening, everyone. And I want to thank everyone that are the speakers that have spoken before me. Excellent stuff that came out of this. It also made me to understand a little bit more about Nigeria, and that the effort, depending on the effort that we put into it, will determine the result that we get. So thank you so much. So let me just hit the ground running first. The airport, and particularly MMA2, is a gateway infrastructure first. But the truth about it is that during the Detty December, it was actually an epicentre, where a lot of people, both the diaspora and the people within the country, really gather. And we are actually prepared for it in the sense that even before the build-up, during the build-up, we already know that we're going to have a massive crowd at the airport. And what we have done, a year before, we had a fantastic Christmas light up at the airport. And last year, we ensured that we intensify effort to see how we can blow it even a little bigger. So aside from being a gateway infrastructure, is actually also a tourist facility. And we recognize that, first of all, one of those things that you see that we have at the airport is the art gallery that really had a lot of visitors that came into it during the Detty December thing. We had a financial institution that sponsored part of the December light up at the airport, which their team is also Detty December. So we're very particular about it and prepared for the turnout. However, even though we prepared, we noticed that we actually have more crowd than we even expected, at that point in time, and which now brought us to see how we can reevaluate our strategies and quickly readjust to the reality at that point in time. One thing I noticed very clearly was that the passenger surge that we witnessed last year, that is during the December period, I don't think we have witnessed that before. The crowd was massive, and most of the people we are seeing are people that are coming from the diaspora. So you see a lot of people from the diaspora coming from the international airport and connecting to the various states that are actually offering this fun atmosphere, a very fun atmosphere in Nigeria in December then. So what really went on is that before you even leave the airport, you've started having that experience. So we see that it is very important for us not to just put the airport as just an infrastructure as a transit infrastructure, but also to create an experience where people already have an idea of what they're going to see, even to their own final destination. And that was really fantastic. For instance, we have people that are moving away from the airport. We have a lot of crowd at the departure hall, really. But we created what we call the premium departure, where we have people with business class and people at diaspora. Because of the weather there, when they get here, they're always very hot. And when they have a lot of crowd, they move into our lounges. We have the premium departure, we have the VIP departures everywhere. And they really enjoyed. And one of those experiences that I also shared, that a lot of them shared with us, was basically that they never knew that Nigeria has really changed. So we had a lot of that comment. So some people that have not been home for like 10 years, 5, 8 years, said that a lot of things has changed. So that's one of those feedback that we got from the people in the diaspora that returned home. And we have a lot of them that did that. So one of those things that happened again is that it allows us to quickly enhance our coordination with the airlines, because immediately we saw that there was a lot of crowd. Yes, there was a stress test of our facility because the toilets are filled up, the departures are filled up, all our facilitation points, were really, really congested. So what we did immediately was to ensure that while we have this, there is no incident. We try as much as possible to ensure that we have very fantastic emergency response, that even if anybody has an issue in terms of whatever it may happen, we responded very quickly, and we didn't have any major incident that we could recall. At the airport, you will also notice that the economy at the airport was really fantastic because, you have the restaurants and airport. There's a lot of restaurants and all of that around us. So they were filled up. So a lot of people, enjoyed that moment and raised a lot of revenue at that point. Not to talk about the car hailing system that we have here. A lot of people move around the Lagos, charters and all of that. So we saw a lot of other charters of planes, also a lot of them also around there. So majorly, the economic part of it has a very serious impact. One of those things that we have seen as lessons is that we're using data, now and look at the trend to be able to plan ahead, even earlier than we've done before now. So from the second quarter, we have to start planning, for the end year, because the truth about it is that aviation is actually evolving. And even very recently, you know that because of this capacity that has been increased, after the Minister of Aviation helped with the CTC, we had a lot of airlines bringing in a lot of capacity. So that capacity, what it means is that it's going to bring about a lot of demand. So what it means is that to crash the price. If you look at it now, the fare is not as huge as what you have before now. And what will happen after then is that you have a lot of people coming to the airport. And by the end of this year, I envisage that we're going to have a massive crowd, even bigger than what we had in 2025. Being an election year, one. Secondly, is also the fact that the forex are stabilized, which is good for the airline and also good for the people coming, even diaspora and with people within Nigeria. So if you also look at the fact that inflation was not really the prices of things generally, I'm not talking about the ones that deliberately, increase their prices. The prices in December 2025 was a little bit stabilized. Even I noticed that even the fuel, the petrol price actually dropped around that period, which has never happened before. You understand? So there's a lot of stability. So a lot of people could move around. There's a lot of money in the pocket, and you now see a lot of people come out at diaspora and even within Nigeria. So it was a fantastic experience. We have provided that environment and that atmosphere for people. So we don't see ourselves only as a gateway infrastructure, but also an hospitality center point where people, experience it, because these are the first point of contact. And we're very deliberate about that. So we are one of those enablers of this tourist advancement that we're trying to achieve in Nigeria. So basically, that is what has happened. I know we in a particular day, every day we manage up to about almost about 15,000 people, in and out of the airport. And that's a little bit very massive for us, at that point in time. And we really enjoy the moment. And we are really now well positioned to ensure that next year we have a better experience and better preparation for visitors and passengers that pass through the airport. So aviation generally is a silent engine behind Nigeria festive economy, so it's something that will enable it, it's something that will drive it. And I think what is important is for us to empower that sector to ensure that it continually display that position at all times.
Thank you. 15,000 passengers a day, that's massive. And I have lots of questions for you, but we need to take the next one. But before you go, let me tell you my own experience. I passed through that airport a lot in December. Enugu, Calabar, and the lines were chaotic. Our bag retrieval system was something out of this. I don't know how to describe it. And you have these figures. I expect you to tell us next time. I'll ask you, how many flights did we have every day? We've had the 15,000 passengers. And how are you planning? Do you have only two carousels for this year? If you said, Madam, the PAMSEC says you're expecting 10, 20 times more visitors, is that airport capable? And there are so many things, but I can't give you time to say all of this because we have our next guest and we need to be running. And the weather in Rome is changing on me. So, so thank you for your presentation.
Thank
I
you.
think we'll go straight to Cross River State Tourism Bureau. If you have questions for him, please write them so he can respond. Madam Pamsek, I thank you for responding. 5,000 hotels in Lagos, that's quite a lot. So